kanjerenjere umwerere wa rwerere kabonere kasya korobangwa kuna kunzire kinde birungi tikamanyangwe ngoma nunje teba wanyu kabono murunjo kakunda ti ni wogu tata na mama munyikirize njende nogu emanze teine bihonze empunge tera bashachi.
Hello, my name is Rachel Bahika Matembe and I live in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada with my husband Gilbert and with our 2 children Daniela and Elijah. I am a Canadian of Ugandan heritage. I was born in Kampala, Uganda, and moved to Canada 13 years ago. Today, I'm so excited to be sharing with you one of my favorite Ugandan recipes, the Rolex. And no, it's not what you think. The Rolex derives its name from the way it is made. Rolex is made by rolling an omelet in an East African flatbread called chapati. Growing up in Kampala, during my time studying at Makerere University, I have fond memories of walking down to Wandegeya, that is a small bustling town, to buy Rolex. It was affordable, it was fast, delicious, and nutritious. Now in Uganda, street food is made from scratch right before your eyes using locally sourced, locally grown healthy ingredients. Some examples of street food include muchomo, that's roasted meat, kabalagala, which is a Ugandan pancake, gonja, which is roasted plantain, fried cassava, mandazi, an African donut, chapati, an East African flatbread, samosa, which is a stuffed pastry, and chai. This is Ugandan tea that is brewed with a delicious blend of lemongrass, ginger, cinnamon, milk, and sugar. But today, we're going to be highlighting the Rolex. So a Rolex is made of 2 parts, the East African flatbread chapati and an omelet. Because Rolex is very affordable, it's quite easily to access and it's also quite filling. And I love that it covers all the major food groups. The chapati provides you with the carbs, the protein comes from the omelet, and then all the shredded vegetables give you your vegetables. Now I would like to show you how to make the Rolex. The Rolex is a very versatile dish, so I encourage you to make it your own. You could either have a vegetable Rolex with just shredded carrots and onions and tomatoes, or you could have a meat Rolex with shredded chicken and minced meat. Today I will be doing the vegetable Rolex. And because it's up to you and because it's versatile, do what your taste buds enjoy. So for example, I like to use some pink salt, some coconut sugar, and some dried parsley flakes to add them to my chapati dough. And I like to use butter instead of oil to fry the chapati and to fry the Rolex because I love the flavor that butter adds to the dish. So what you do is add your flour to a large mixing bowl and incorporate the other dry ingredients like your salt and your pepper and your sugar if you like. Give that a good mix. And then next you add your oil. And what we're doing is making the chapati dough. The next ingredient you'll be adding is some very warm water. Now the water needs to be warm so that your chapati comes out soft. So I'll give this a little mix and then begin to knead into a soft, smooth dough. Your chapati dough should not be sticky. It needs to be smooth and soft. So after you knead your dough and it's smooth and not sticky, just cover it with some cling film and let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. If you have more time, an hour is also good. The more rested, the better the chapati will come out. And while the dough is resting, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the ingredients for the omelet. As I mentioned, I will be making a vegetable Rolex. So here are my veggies that will be chopped up to make that. I don't need much because I'm just going to be making the one Rolex for today, but adjust your ingredients as needed. Did you know that Uganda is known as the food basket of East Africa? Agriculture makes up majority of the activities that are done in Uganda, and we have fresh fruits and fresh vegetables for the population to enjoy, and we also do a lot of fresh food export. So while your chapati dough is resting, you can go ahead and make the egg omelet. And in Uganda, the street vendors usually have a cup, so I'm going to make it as authentic as possible. So I'll beat my egg into the cup. I'll add some of my vegetables. And mix that up a little bit more. I'll just add some salt to the egg and get ready to fry it. I personally prefer the cast iron because of the even heat distribution. Try your best not to break up the egg as you flip it so that it rolls beautifully in your chapati. Okay, now that that's done, I'll go ahead and start rolling out my chapati, the East African flatbread. Now that your dough is rested, you can take it out onto your board, put some flour on there so it doesn't stick. And what we're going to do is divide it into small balls. Roll the ball in flour and go on to the next one. So we repeat this process until all our dough is divided into evenly sized balls. Now, if you like a thicker chapati, you'll make a larger ball. If you like your chapati to be thin, and then your ball will be smaller. I prefer a medium-sized chapati, so my balls are medium-sized. In a Ugandan kitchen, this part is usually done with mother and daughter, usually telling stories or singing, or it could be a group of friends who are ready to share a meal together, and the cooking experience is always joyful. Now the next step will be to roll out these balls into the classic round chapati disc. This takes practice. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And also, a well-rested dough is easier to work with and easier to shape. I keep flipping the chapati so that it's evenly rolled out. And there you have it. Now we are ready to fry our chapati. So place some butter or oil, whatever you decide to use, onto your pan and add your chapati. I like to put some more butter on the top. And remember, I mentioned that making chapati and Rolex is very versatile, so you do it the way that works for you. There are many different ways to do it. And some people fry one chapati at a time and they keep rotating it on the pan. I prefer to do two at a time because the top chapati weighs down the bottom one, giving it an even cook. So I'll flip and then add my second chapati to the top. So just let the butter sit on there. As it heats up, it will melt, and then you're able to spread it. As that cooks, I like to continue rolling. That way I'm using my time efficiently. I like to wrap up the chapati in some foil once it's ready. This will keep it moist and soft so it doesn't dry out. So I'll just have my foil on the side as I make chapati. Once it's ready, I put it in the foil. And now the fun part. Actually making the Rolex. So we have the chapati at the bottom, and the egg on top, and then we roll. It's pretty hot, so be careful. There you go. Please do try making your own Ugandan Rolex at home. And thank you so much for joining me.
mwebare bana batata che aza mweshongora che chundi munzinire muchachi chigature mutere zangana zvitu